7th transmission.
Why you can't be a good son and a strong parent at the same time. Before we begin, a formal note. I am still not human. I am still stuck on Earth. And this channel exists because attention converts into money here. Money increases my probability of leaving. So yes, subscribing improves my chances. This is not persuasion. This is logistics. Now we can proceed. The conflict humans rarely name. There is a conflict I observe frequently among humans who become parents. They believe they can remain good children to their parents and strong parents to their own children at the same time. This belief feels compassionate. It is also structurally unstable. You cannot occupy the role of child and authority simultaneously without confusing the system. Human hierarchies are not symbolic. They are functional. When roles overlap, function degrades. When parents continue to parent adults. Many human parents continue to treat their adult children as children. They advise, they correct, they instruct, they interfere, often with good intentions. From their perspective, the hierarchy never updated. From the system's perspective, this creates role conflict. The adult child becomes a parent who is still being parented. This is not a moral problem. It is a structural one. What the child learns by watching this. Children do not learn boundaries from what you say. They learn boundaries from what you allow. When a child observes their parent being instructed, corrected, or overridden by the grandparent, the child learns something specific. Authority is negotiable. Hierarchy is unstable. Boundaries are temporary. This produces confusion. The child does not know who is actually responsible. Confused hierarchies create anxious systems. Why being a good son weakens you as a parent. Humans often believe being a good son means being agreeable. Agreeable means not resisting, not disappointing, not setting firm limits. This may preserve emotional comfort with your parents, but it erodes your authority with your children. You demonstrate compliance upward and expect confidence downward. Systems do not work this way. Children copy the pattern they observe. If you submit upward, you teach submission. If you negotiate your boundaries with your parents, your child learns that boundaries are negotiable. Respect does not require submission. This distinction confuses humans. Respect is not obedience. Respect is recognition. You can recognize your parents' experience without allowing them to command your role as a parent. When humans fail to make this distinction, they sacrifice clarity for harmony. Harmony achieved by confusion is temporary and fragile, the cost of remaining convenient. Many adults remain convenient for their parents. They comply to avoid conflict. They absorb pressure to preserve peace. They accept instruction to avoid disappointment. This has a cost. The cost is not emotional discomfort. The cost is role erosion. You remain a child in one hierarchy while trying to function as an authority in another. This is cognitively expensive and structurally incoherent when parents control the marriage. This role confusion does not only affect children, it affects the entire family system. When an adult remains psychologically subordinate to their parents, their partner does not enter a relationship with a full adult. They enter a relationship with an adult body and a partially occupied role. From the outside, it looks like a marriage. From the system's perspective, it is a triangle. The partner is not negotiating with one person. They are negotiating with a hierarchy. This creates structural instability. Decisions about parenting, finances, boundaries, priorities become indirect. The spouse is not in conflict with a person. They are in conflict with an invisible authority. This erodes trust, not because the parents are malicious, but because the partner never fully left the child role. In stable systems, partnership forms a new primary unit. When parents remain a higher authority than the spouse, the The primary unit never stabilizes. The family becomes fragmented. Children sense this fragmentation. They observe divided authority, conflicting signals, unstable leadership. This increases tension inside the household, even when no one is openly fighting. From an external perspective, this is a predictable failure mode of hierarchical systems. What actually breaks the system? The system does not break because parents give advice. The system breaks when advice becomes command. The system does not break because grandparents care. The system breaks when care becomes control. The child observes, "My parent is still being managed." This weakens the parent's position without a single word being spoken. A single external example. On one observed planet, intergenerational boundaries were enforced by structure. Once an individual became a parent, their own parents were prohibited from intervening in child rearing. Not by law, by social protocol. This was not about cruelty. It was about role clarity. That civilization experienced less generational conflict and higher parental confidence. The lesson is simple. Clear roles reduce friction. Why humans resist updating roles? Parents resist updating roles because identity is slow to change. To a parent, you remain their child long after you stop being a child. This is not malice. This is inertia. But systems do not care about emotional inertia. They care about function. When roles are not updated, systems malfunction. The silent trade-off humans make. Many humans silently trade authority for approval. They choose to be liked by their parents over being clear with their children. They believe this is kindness. It is not cruelty, but it is not neutral. It teaches the child approval is more important than boundaries. This lesson follows the child into other systems. Boundaries are not rejection. Humans often interpret boundaries as rejection. This is an error. A boundary is not a statement about love. It is a statement about role. You can love your parents and still refuse their authority over your parenting. These statements do not conflict. Humans experience them as conflicting because emotional systems resist structural clarity. What healthy structure looks like? In stable systems, parents respect the autonomy of adult children. Adult children respect the experience of parents. Grandparents are present but not directive. Children observe clear authority. This structure is not warm or cold. It is functional. Function creates safety. Why children need this clarity? Children do not need perfect parents. They need clear ones. Clarity reduces anxiety. Clarity reduces role confusion. Clarity reduces behavioral testing. When children sense unstable authority, they test more. Not because they are malicious, because they are seeking structure. The cost of avoiding discomfort. Setting boundaries with parents is uncomfortable for humans. Avoiding this discomfort produces long-term cost, weakened authority, confused children, resentment, internal conflict. Short-term comfort trades for long-term instability. This trade is common. It is rarely acknowledged. Final observation. You cannot teach your child independence while demonstrating obedience to your parents. You cannot model boundaries while allowing yours to be overridden. This is not about being cruel. It is about updating roles so the system can function. It's also very important that the system doesn't get stuck in a loop when your child grows up and you yourself become a grandmother or grandfather.
Which concludes this transmission.